What's good? What's good, Raider Nation? The Las Vegas Raiders will host none other than the Atlanta Falcons. Last time the Las Vegas Raiders took on the Atlanta Falcons, they were dog walked, drugged through the mud, 43-6. I do believe the score. The date, November 29th, 2020, I do believe. Hopefully, we do not see the same scenario we've seen, but for many people on the tank train, they would love to see the Las Vegas Raiders lose and keep the number one spot. So we will talk about it. The Las Vegas Raiders are missing one very, very, very key player, but they get a key player back and also a star on the rise on the defensive line. We will talk about that and whatever else you want to talk about on this wild, crazy, cold ass Saturday night. So let's get unleashed, baby.
I was born to be a Raider. 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 Win, lose, or tie. Raiders till I die. Ain't nobody even fucking with us, cause in the shield we trust, just like Townsend came through, crushing it up. You know it's R-A-I-D-E-R-S. Other teams in the land, but we controlling the West. I was born to be a Raider since I formed in the womb. I'ma die being a Raider laid up in the tomb. My blood color black and my veins stay silver. Every tailgate I'm faded, praise for the liver. Raider Red super fan, mariachi band, DJs, Mac Dre. It's a give it to the fans. Feel out in Oakland, stay out in Vegas. Always Raider Nation and they still gon' hate us. But like we always say, homie, fuck your team. Only one nation, Raider Nation, got a mean. Lighting up the torch at Alicia game time. Taking record records, smash backs, record spines. Renfro catching passes that nobody can imagine. I can see LeVon, Del Davis, John Madden. Fresh Raider jersey, fresh 501s. Let me really show you fools how the West was won. Raider Nation, not to mention, always imitated. Never duplicate, can't nobody ever fade us. I was born to be a
Raider. What's good? What's good on this Saturday night? Unless you're in Hawaii, it's probably very, very cold. Pretty cold all over the U.S., storms everywhere. So bundle up, get warm, and let's talk Monday Night Football. Man, some key matches. They got a crazy, crazy offense, putting up crazy numbers, second in the NFL in points, but they also have a quarterback who has 8 interceptions, 0 touchdowns in his last 4 games. Could this be the key to victory for the Las Vegas Raiders? We are missing one key component, a franchise piece. Is it just one game? Will he be out the season? We will break all that down. Also, a star on the rise, man. Number 96 for the Las Vegas Raiders is making a name for himself and flashing on the D-line. We will break down that, talk about this man's future with the Las Vegas Raiders and a lot of other futures. So what's good? What's good tonight? How's everybody feeling in the building? Man. So Maxx Crosby, of course, is out. He will not play Monday night. This means K'Lavon Chasen, Tyree Wilson, Snowden, I do not believe will play. I don't know how that's going to work. You know, the man got a DUI, got that Dewey car hanging over, front tires hanging over a cliff, 4-foot bank. Man, I don't really have much to say. That's why I didn't do a video on it or talk about it, because, you know, as a person that's got 2 DWIs, 2 Deweys in my life, both of them were bullshit. Wasn't drunk either time, but I was over the limit. So, you know, if you blow over the limit and you're driving, you're jacked. Hello, what's good, Lincoln? So, you know, poor mistakes in Sin City. We've talked about this on this channel 100,000 times. Character, right? Character. It's all about character in the NFL, and especially in a town like Sin City, bro. Like, there's trouble everywhere you go. It doesn't sleep. And as you can see, you know, appreciate you. Appreciate the sub. Shout out the gamers. Man, so, you know, it's rough. It's rough being in a place like Las Vegas. It's rough being an up and coming player. But for a guy like Charles Snowden, he was let go. He was an undrafted free agent, I do believe. They bring him back. He stays on the practice squad. Then he gets on the team. He's signed to the roster. He's playing every week. He's making plays. He's helping this team. And then stupid mistakes, man. Stupid mistakes from young players. New England boosters, what's good, my guy? Appreciate you pulling up. So, man, you would think after the Henry Ruggs situation that we wouldn't have that shit in Vegas. Guys have to be accountable, and I didn't hear anything on a press conference. Maybe I missed it on what's going to be the situation. Lawrence, my guy, appreciate you pulling up. So yeah, man, there's got to be discipline. I'll be surprised if he's still on the team. Janarius Robinson, I believe, got a Dewey this year also. And like I said, you would think after Henry Ruggs, a up and coming star, the man had a future as bright as the lights in Vegas. If you ever flown into Vegas at night, the kid's future was as bright as the lights in Vegas. Flying in at night, and one stupid mistake, but it wasn't a stupid mistake. The Raiders didn't do their homework. Apparently, there have been reports of him driving like that in Alabama, and it wasn't a first time thing. So, character is huge in the NFL, especially in a town like Las Vegas. So, man, bad thing for the Las Vegas Raiders. Looks bad for the coaching staff. Looks bad on Charles Snowden, who was an up and coming guy, and hopefully he'll learn from his experience. But it's hard in the NFL when you're not a big star already, and you make stupid mistakes like that. When you're given every opportunity, it's not easy making a roster in the NFL. And when you have an opportunity like that, in my opinion, to swindle it away with a Dewey, when the Raiders have guys you can call. I mean, you have money, you can call an Uber, you can call a taxi. It's in Vegas, bro. You could call a limo. You could call anybody on the team, and I'm sure they would have came and picked you up. But some people just can't swallow their pride. So I don't know the whole situation, but moral of the story is I do not see him playing Thursday night. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. If you think Charles Snowden's going to get a chance to play Thursday, the NFL has got to do their investigations, and it's I think a mandatory 3-game suspension if convicted. But the man, from the information I have, doesn't even have a court date, which I don't know how that happens. Like I said, I've had 2 in my life, and I had a court date right away as soon as I got out. So I don't know how that works. I wasn't in NFL. Monday. So yeah, I mean, I don't know who's gonna step up, but Luau, man, this kid has been a huge pickup. I believe played at Oklahoma State. I'm not positive, but man, what a star this kid has been. The kid has talent all over him. Slept on, not many people, especially with the Raiders record, are, paying attention to the defensive line. But this kid, every time he is out there, the man is making plays in the run game. He's chasing guys down. He's very intelligent. He knows what he's supposed to do. And I just keep seeing, flashes and flashes where, man, just another steal by Tom Telesco and, whoever was involved in bringing this guy in. I don't know if AP's involved on scouting these guys and saying, hey, bring this guy in, or, if it's the defensive line or Patrick Graham. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know who's involved, but kudos to them. They keep bringing these guys like K-Lavon Chasen, Lou, how you say his name? Laulu? I don't know. Sorry for butchering your name, bro. But man, the dude is a gem, a hidden gem. Just another guy we found to pile up this defensive line and stop the run. And we're definitely going to need it. Bijan Robinson, a freak of nature. And right now we are struggling. We are struggling stopping the run. And they ain't having no problem running the ball. They had shit. Let me pull this up a different way. Let's get into this. Oh shit, I can't do it in this. Never mind. Anyways. So yeah, they put up almost 500 yards in a loss to the Minnesota Vikings. That's a lot of points for, a Minnesota Vikings team that doesn't really have a great defense, but they have a solid defense and they find a way to win. Knockout. I used to be a Raider fan. Then one day I woke up. Come on, man, that's cold. I wake up every day, but I'm still a Raiders fan, and I will always be win, lose, or tie. You know how it goes if you were a fan. But I mean, come on, it's rough. It's rough, but I ain't never been a quitter, and I ain't never gave up on shit I love, and I love this team more than pretty much a lot of shit in my life. A lot of shit. So, yeah. We'll be back on top, bro. It circles around. It's the NFL. Kansas City Chiefs were at the bottom. They've been on top. The Houston Texans have been there. Many teams. The Bills. It goes full circle, bro. Goes full circle. Right? Just pulling up to troll. That's cool. Need all the trolls I can get. Let's see. Damn, I didn't know. I can't pull shit up on this little ass screen this way. That's jacking me up. Who's watching the fight? Anybody watching UFC right now? Sorry, I gotta turn this down. But yeah, so man, it's gonna be rough with no Maxx Crosby, but I do believe we won the last game. Maxx Crosby missed. This is only the second game in his career he's missed. So with that being said, do y'all think? I mean, I'm not questioning nobody, but should have Max have been playing this whole year, or should he have just been resting that ankle? Because if it's the same ankle and he re-injured it, I mean that's not good at all. Not good. At least with Max out for the season, he won't be part of the tanking. I mean, we'll get to that later on in the show. I mean, there's it's a big question, and nobody's questioned Maxx Crosby's character, but there's been a lot of rumors saying that this team has been tanking from the get go, from the start before this even started. I mean, people are posting shit that Uber drivers have seen and heard and talked to nephews at AP and all kinds of crazy shit. So when there's nothing to play for, you can call it a tank or you can call it what you want to, but when you have absolutely nothing left to play for but pride, there's really no reason for him to be in there. I mean, same with Nate Hobbs. Nate Hobbs, is on a contract year, so definitely he wants to be in there. Right? I thought it was hilarious too. But hey, you never know, bro. You never know. There could have been somebody that picked up some kid and dropped him off in Compton, and AP's was there. I'm not questioning nobody or anybody's comments, but it is the world of AI, and anybody could see, do, hear, or make anything nowadays. So I mean, crazy shit. You did see though something we can't deny is on John Gruden, the barstool. The man said AP in the elevator said that we'd be battling the New England Patriots for the number one spot, which is wild because it was week 6 or 7 and we didn't play New England this year. So, I mean, that's crazy shit. And that's one thing you can't deny. Now, you can't deny he was saying, I mean, you can't say for sure the dude said, AP was saying we were tanking, but to me, that's just wild. That's wild. You can't go on film on a show like the Barstool and make crazy accusations like that if it's not true. I mean, in my opinion, can't you get sued for slander and shit? Or is that those days behind us? Like, what's your opinion on the Minnesota Vikings? What do you mean? Like, just in general? I think they're a damn good team. I think they got a good ass coach, a good quarterback coach in Josh McCown that's probably going to be an offensive coordinator very, very soon. They got cheap running back. They got one of the best receivers in the National Football League, and they picked up Sam Darnold, who's, I mean, fucking running wild. What do you have? 5 touchdowns last week, I do believe. So yeah, that man's got to be somewhere in the running of. I don't know about MVP, but I mean, you got to put him up there somewhere, right? Comeback player of the year. He's definitely top tier running for comeback player of the year. I don't know who would even be close to Sam Darnold at this point. So, I mean, Minnesota's tough. They're tough. They give up a little bit too much points on defense. They have problems stopping the run. Obviously, the only points the Falcons scored last week was 2 touchdowns, both rushing, and I mean, Kirk Cousins hasn't thrown a touchdown in 4 weeks. So the Minnesota Vikings are strong, bro. Y'all got a good ass team. They dominated us in the preseason, and everybody said our quarterbacks were trash. Aiden was garbage, the same old routine. But it turns out Aiden was playing their starters, who has a pretty solid defense. They're not top 5. They're not in the 20s. I don't know where they're ranked. I couldn't tell you right off the top of my head. I believe they're in 10 or 15 range, somewhere in there, somewhere like us. So, I mean, yeah, they definitely have a shot. They're going to be hard to stop. If their defense you know, can get tighter, I guess you'd say, in the playoffs and not give up so many points, then they definitely got a chance. Definitely got a chance. When you got a quarterback that can throw 5 touchdowns with no INTs in a game, and everybody said the man was a bust and he shouldn't be a starter in the NFL, they took a chance on him. And then if he doesn't work out, you got JJ McCarthy sitting behind him, who in the preseason, in my opinion, looked very, very good for as young as he is, a 20-year-old kid coming in a preseason, looked better than both our quarterbacks. So, I mean, yeah, shout out to y'all. Will Antonio Pierce be back next year? It's hard to say. Mark Davis, was pretty much honest and said he's going to evaluate Tom Telesco and Antonio Pierce separately. So we shall see. In my honest opinion, I think. Sorry. I don't know what the hell was in my eye, but in my honest opinion, I believe Antonio Pierce will be back. And if you want reasons why, I will give them to you. You just got to ask. But I believe he'll be back. And there's a lot of things around that. But yeah, I think he'll be back next year. You think we can win it all? The AFC's tough, man. You have the Detroit Lions, who are, I mean, have the best running back duo possibly in the history of the NFL, in my opinion, and one of the best offensive coordinators in the NFL, a solid coach, one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL. You lose one of your star pieces in Detroit, and you know those guys are still like they haven't missed a beat, but they outscore everybody. So Detroit puts up a lot of points. The Steelers are going to be tough. Mike Tomlin is one of the best coaches in the NFL, and when you got a veteran quarterback who should be on the Raiders, I'm just saying should have been on the Raiders, but when you got a veteran quarterback that's been to a Super Bowl, I think 2 Super Bowls, right? Won one and lost one. You got Pickens over there. The AFC is tough. Kansas City, the Bills, man, yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. I don't know, but if they can outscore teams, you see what they did to the Falcons. I mean, they've been putting up what close to 40 points a game. So I think Minnesota's got a chance. They got as good of chance as any, in my opinion. 1987. See, that's what I'm talking about. Stay loyal. Pick a team and stick with it. Don't give up on them. Never give up on your team, no matter how bad they are. Raiders, the only team in the AFC West with a losing record. Thank you for that, Mick Swagger. Do you have lips like Mick Jagger? No, I was just looking at your photo. My bad. But I mean, yeah, we have a first year coach. We have no quarterback. We have 3 starters out for the season on defense. We've had a revolving door for our offensive line. I'm not making excuses for this team. But, however, the 49ers lost a couple players, not for the season, just for a couple games. And look at their record. So, yes, we do have a losing record. Thanks for the it's a breaking news, like my guy said. Breaking news: the Las Vegas Raiders clap ass cheeks. We know, bro. We know. We know. It's been that way for years. It's not going to stay that way. I promise you. Promise you. It's not going to stay that way. Vikings question. No, they are the Chargers of the NFC. They can't win shit in the playoffs. I I don't believe that this year. I don't believe that, my guy. I think in the past, maybe, and their defense might fold, but I think they have a good enough offense and special teams and running game that they can outscore a lot of teams no matter how many points their defense gives up. So, you know, can teams rattle Sam Darnold in the playoffs? Are they going to play him differently? Absolutely, 100%. You'd be stupid not to. And you definitely have to scheme up a lot more shit for Sam Darnold in the playoffs because the man, let's face it, you give him time and he's throwing dimes just like Aiden O'Connell. So I think they can hang. It all comes down to the defense. We know the offense, they got to stay healthy. But when you have one of the best receivers at his age to probably ever play the game, you're never out of any game, bro. You just got to throw the ball in the air. Just throw it up. Let Justin Jefferson go get it and do your touchdown celebration to the sideline because I mean that dude's absolutely crazy. Nah, you good, man. We just messing with you, bro. What's my man? Kevin Young, appreciate you pulling up. Billy B to the Cowboys next year or no? I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's going to North Carolina for a year and then dipping. I mean, that would be crazy, right? Why would you commit to a college team just for a year? You can't do nothing. It would be devastating for that organization, for that college, for that franchise, for Chapel Hill. Man, they couldn't. Yeah, you could. They can't do. Belichick can't do him like that. That would be wild. And I believe he signed a 3-year, 4-year contract. 4 years, 40 mil, right? 10 mil a year. He's not going nowhere, bro. He's not going nowhere, and he's going to be one of many coaches in the NFL that leave, that go to the NFL. Or I mean, that go to the college ranks because of the NIL, because they can make just as much money and they can teach these kids. And look, college football is going to be ran a lot more like the NFL. You got guys like Deion Sanders, you got guys like Belichick, you got guys like Lane Kiffin, and the list goes on and on and on. I can't think off the top of my head, but there's so many coaches that have coached in the NFL that are in college right now. And a lot of these teams that are ran, spread offense, 4-3 defenses, uh, just cover 2, which is crazy in college. Teams that run NFL schemes seem to be winning a lot more games, just in my opinion. So I believe it's just the start of a trend. I think D Menace was good. I think with the money in college football, that a lot of these guys, that are tired of the NFL, that are tired of the way the NFL's run. We heard the rumors Belichick tried to make calls to the Jets, and the Jets, I guess, weren't interested. So, maybe the NFL's just moved on from these older guys, and there wasn't a place in the NFL for Belichick, and he's gonna, maybe he's gonna do what Jim Harbaugh did. You win, you get to some Super Bowls, you win some, lose some, your team falls apart, you get fired, and then what? Or you get fired, you just leave, you go to college football, you take a team to a championship or two, and you're relevant again. And NFL teams will be banging on your door to come back and coach in the NFL. So I think the man is wise. I think it's going to help, a lot of kids in that whoever go to that college, they're going to be more prepared for the NFL, and they're probably going to have a whole lot of draft picks, especially with the NIL deals and transfers. And man, the transfer portal is going to be crazy to North Carolina this year. I know that. I know that shit. D Menace in the building. I see the Raiders drafting Sanders because Brady is his mentor and trading back up and trying to get Hunter. I mean, I've said that would be the best thing they could possibly do. If you're going to go get Shador, you might as well give him his number one weapon. And, a guy, in my opinion, and this is just me, hate if you want, really helped make Shador Sanders. Because let's face it, he threw to the man 92 times last year. And I don't know what the numbers were in Jackson State, but I believe it was very, very close to the same. So, look, most of his catches, most of Shador's touchdowns was to Travis Hunter. So if you want him to succeed and be the best in the NFL, why not put him with the guy that helped make his career? Now, is there a chance to do that? I don't think so. I think it's one of those situations like a Jaden Daniels, which whoever, has a chance to get Travis Hunter is going to get Travis Hunter. They're not going to pass on him. You'd be stupid, to pass on him unless you need a quarterback. But in my opinion, even if you need a quarterback, I would take Travis Hunter in a heartbeat and take one of these, lesser guys. When we don't know, if Drew Allar or Drew Aller or however you want to pronounce his name is coming out, or Jackson Dart or any of these guys, we don't know who's all coming out. But there's quarterbacks that you can get, that you can groom, that can sit for a year or two if that's the route you want to go. And I don't know, with Brady having a lot of say, it's going to be crazy. Because does Tom Brady really want to go all in head first and be like, okay, let's fire the head coach, let's fire the GM, let's go draft a quarterback in the first round and start all over, all in the first year, having whatever say he has with this organization, with all the shit he has going on? I don't believe that's the case. I think AP will be back for that reason. I think they'll go get a quarterback. They'll see what they can do with Antonio Pierce, and if it doesn't work, they'll go from there. But I see Brady doing the Fox thing for however long, that works out, and then being a bigger part of this team. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if you can get both of those guys. I just don't see that possible. And is it worth 3 first round picks to go get a Travis Hunter? Or if you draft Travis Hunter first, is it worth 3 first round picks or whatever it costs you to move back up to get Shador? In my opinion, no. Or Cam Ward. Travis Hunter, maybe. That's a guy that is a once in a lifetime. Like, players like that do not come around once every 10 years, once every 15, probably not even once every 20, that could play like he can both sides of the ball. So if you have an opportunity to get that guy, I mean, you have to swing for the fences. Two players are better than one, right? If you can get a good quarterback, that many say it, last year he wouldn't be in this spot. They're ranked 15th, 16th, 17th, on the board, best player available. Is it really worth this organization that needs a quarterback that bad drafting a quarterback that's only ranked 14th or 15th or 16th best player available just because you need a quarterback? I don't think so. I wouldn't. No way in hell if I was GM would I swing for the fences on either one of these quarterbacks. Just my opinion. Now, with that being said, there's a big shot that both of them can be Hall of Famers, but there's an even bigger shot. And if you look at the percentage, there's a way bigger percentage that both of them could be bust and never turn out to be shit. How many quarterbacks in the NFL were drafted number one, number two, that somebody took a reach on? And I can go back to a guy that, might not ever play again, might be a backup the rest of his career. In Pickens, that was drafted, first in the first round. What was it, in the top 5? That definitely shouldn't have been drafted in the first round. The Steelers took a shot. He was a good quarterback for a year or two, and now he's a backup somewhere. So, I mean, and he had numbers. He had decent numbers in college. It just wasn't one of those guys. And I'm not saying Shador is not, and I'm not saying Cam Ward can't be. It's risky, bro. It's a gamble. It's a gamble. Being in the number one spot is horrible. And I think that's why the Raiders are doing everything they can to try to win a game. So they don't have to be in this spot, because whether you're Mark Davis, whether you're the coach, the general manager, nobody's going to be happy. Especially if he turns out to be a Ryan Leaf or a Jamarcus Russell, like my man just said, or a Mitch Trubisky. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. And I think the percentage of quarterbacks being a bust are way higher than any other position in the NFL, mainly because people like the Raiders and the Giants get in this spot where they need a quarterback. And this is a draft where there really isn't no dominant quarterback. Now, people could say Cam Ward and Shador are the only two. I disagree. I think there's a lot of guys that have lesser experience, that haven't been in the league, that are sophomores and juniors, that are just as good as these guys. They just don't have the experience. Now, do you wait a year or two? I don't know. I don't know if the Raiders are in a position to wait a year or two. And we still don't know what Aiden is or what he can be, because when he does get a chance, he's hurt, the season's done. I mean, I don't know. The Raiders are just in a tough spot. They're in a tough spot. Do you go get a guy of the future that can be a receiver to help whatever quarterback you bring in, can also help on defense if he goes that route, could help your defense and only be used in special situations like third down or third and short, or, some situations on offense? I mean, I don't know. It's hard to pass on that guy when, if you look at the numbers and the quarterbacks, if nobody needed a quarterback in this draft, they wouldn't be in the top 10. And I believe that cold-heartedly. Like, if there was 15 teams in the NFL that had their quarterback of the future, these guys wouldn't be drafted in the top 15. Like, you're reaching on guys. And, I know Shador's been posting every week when the Raiders lose, thank you, God. And in Vegas, taking pictures of the stadium saying legendary, a legendary quarterback one is going to be here. I mean, yeah, we all know that eventually, but is it going to be him? Who knows? Because now he's in New York posting shit, throwing to his old friend neighbors. And if you don't think that is the most set up shit ever, like, come on. You're in New York. It's freezing cold outside. Who goes outside at night in New York City and freezing cold with snow on the ground and throws the ball back and forth for a couple seconds, records it, and then dude's like, all right, shout out, I'm out. I'm going back inside. It's freezing out here. So, man, that dude's playing games. He's doing what he needs to do to get to be the number one pick in this draft. And I mean, he could say he wants to be in Vegas. First, he didn't want to go to New York because daddy didn't want him in New York. Now, nobody said that. It's never been said. So it's games, and it's media games, and it's going to continue to be games until until the combine, and we see, are these guys really that much ahead of everybody else? Because I know there's a bunch of quarterbacks in this draft that have faster 40 times, that are more athletic. Do they have the accuracy? I don't know. They play on, teams that aren't in the media, aren't on TV every single week, but are just as good. There's a guy over there in Syracuse. There's a quarterback over there in Notre Dame. I mean, there's a bunch of kids. There's a bunch of kids in college. There's a guy over here in Arkansas that, damn, thank God he's staying one more year. Tyson Green. If y'all haven't seen film on him, go watch 6'6", 233 pounds. Working for Bobby Petrino, one of the best offensive coordinators in college football and head coaches, So, bro, that man's going to be nasty good next year. And a lot of people are saying, and AP even said at the beginning of the year in his press conferences, he wants to build slow. It's a process. You've heard over and over again, 1% every day. Trust the process, trust the process, trust the process. The process doesn't happen overnight. It will never happen overnight. It will never happen in a year. The Houston Texans got lucky as hell. They had a pretty solid team. They spent a lot of money. They brought in a lot of free agents. They drafted very well. They got the third and fourth pick, the best player on offense, the best player on defense in that draft, and it helped the hell out of them. Now, can the Raiders do the same thing? Absolutely, they can. But I just don't see it happening with Tom Telesco. Tom Telesco is too conservative. I don't see him swinging for the fences and going all out this year. And just like he did last year, it's slowly. But then you got to question is how much time do they have to slowly build a team? Is it win now? Do they have to win now? And if that's the case, then yeah, you have to reach for a quarterback. Whether it's reaching, whether it's not reaching. But in my opinion, if you're number one and you draft either one of these quarterbacks, it's a reach. Oh, what's this say? What's this say? What did the Raiders get for Adams? We got a third round that could have been a second if he would have performed, but he did not. Hunter is who we need to take. We end up with number one. I mean, you can go that route, or do you trade back? Are there teams that are, that really, really want Travis Hunter or that really want Shador that we don't know about? The Cleveland Browns could be one of those teams. I mean, I know Jacksonville just paid a lot of money, but they might fire their coach and they might be looking. The New Orleans Saints with Derek Carr might be looking for a quarterback. There's a lot of sneaky teams that could move up, that could go all out for Shador and be like, man, this kid is really it. Like, he's a lot better than we thought after the combine. We don't know. Like, the combine tells a lot. Also, you have the Senior Bowl and those games. I mean, that's it's going to tell a lot, right? I don't know if they're going to play in any of those games, but all those are going to tell a lot about these quarterbacks and who comes out. Like, we don't even know what quarterbacks are entering. There's a lot of quarterbacks, that are in these playoffs right now are sophomores and juniors. So that says a lot too. Like, these kids are sophomores and juniors taking their team to the first ever college championship. So that's got to, you got to give some credit for that too. I need y'all to at least beat Atlanta this week. I hate them. I'm a Saints fan. Man, I don't know. I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. I'm sorry. I want the Raiders to win every week, and I'm gonna predict them to win this week because I've predicted them to win every game this week, every game this year but one, and that's the one game we won. And every game I said we were gonna win and predicted them to win, we've lost. So I'm gonna keep predicting them to win, and hopefully it helps them out. I'm not superstitious, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And yeah, man, Derek Carr just had to get hurt, ruined the comeback against, the payback game with Derek Carr. No, yeah, that's, man, I'm so pissed off that Derek Carr is out and doesn't get to play us. It was the only team in the NFL he hasn't lost against. And now we're going to have to wait, what? Who knows how many years? That's crazy. He might even retire. He might retire and be like, damn, if the Raiders are on the schedule, I'm just done. Nah, he ain't a bitch like that. I'm just playing. Basically, go with the safe pick. Yeah, that's Tom Telesco's MO. And if you look at quarterbacks Tom Telesco is drafted, and this is just off the top of my dome, so don't throw me under the bus, but um I believe was I think in Carolina. I think when he was in Carolina, he drafted a guy who played for the Raiders, I do believe, and Todd Collins or Terry Collins or whatever the hell his name is. Anyways, my point being is Collins was like 6'5" or 6'6", 230 pounds. Then he drafted another guy, and I can't think of his name off the top of my head. But he was also a big guy, 6'5". Then he also was involved in drafting Peyton Manning, who was what 6'4", 6'5", 220, 230 pounds. Tom Telesco was also involved drafting the Colts Drew Luck, who is 6'6", I believe, 6'5", 230 something pounds. He was also involved in drafting Justin Herbert. So, damn, that's pretty good off the top of the dome. I think although, but yeah, and Justin Herbert is also another big ass quarterback. All these guys are pocket passers. They all have very good accuracy, very, very strong arms, and are very tall quarterbacks. So, is that Tom Telesco's MO? I mean, numbers don't lie, history lies a lot. But when you look at, history of the NFL and draft picks, states the obvious. Tom Telesco likes big, strong quarterbacks, positive, necessary. And he hasn't really ever drafted mobile guys. Now, I think out of all those guys that he drafted, maybe Justin Herbert is the most mobile and athletic. And he doesn't run all the time, but the man can pick up yardage when he has to. So that's another thing you have to look at. How good is Tom Telesco and, Tom Brady, who is going to have whatever say he has in drafting the quarterback? Are these guys going to be on the same page? Are they going to have the same vision of where this team needs to go? Or, what quarterback needs to be I'm not going to say the franchise, because Maxx Crosby, we all know, is the franchise of this team. So even if you get a quarterback, it's going to be a while before that man is going to be a franchise. But you know what I mean? A franchise style quarterback. There's a lot of big, tall guys coming out next year and this year that fit that MO a lot more than Shador Sanders and Cam Ward. So, I thought Shador and Cam, neither one of them being in the Heisman running, I thought kind of hurt their chances. But if you watch film on both of these guys, especially Cam Ward, he throws a lot of sideways passes, which is a lot of people. Okay, not too many people, but is one thing I was criticizing about, Caleb Williams. And yes, there's a lot of guys that, have the little sidearm but they don't throw like that all the time. Patrick Mahomes does it once in a while. He has pretty solid ass mechanics, but sometimes he does, throw sideways, try to throw around guys. Well, some guys just throw like that all the time, and that shit is gonna hurt you in the NFL. And I think Cam Ward has kind of like that low sidearm release, but he's way more athletic than Shador. And their size too. 6'2", 6'1" is about the size of Gardner, and we've seen how that worked last year with having to create lanes for him to throw the ball, having to, do extra shit for your quarterback. And I think that's another reason why Gabriel, even as good as Dylan Gabriel is, even if they win the championship, is going to have a hard time making it in the NFL or, getting his chance to play, even as athletic as he is because of his size. So, who's your wide receiver one since Devontae's gone? 100% is Brock Bowers. Yes, he's a tight end, but they line him up pretty much wherever, He plays X, Y. It doesn't matter. You can put him in the slot. You can put him at one. You can put him in the backfield at fullback. So he's our number one guy. Our number one receiver is by far Jacoby Myers. And I thought Jacoby Myers has been our number one receiver. Even when Devontae was there, I said, the guy is the best receiver out there. Now, he doesn't run routes like Devontae, but when it comes to hands and, just all around leader, personality, quiet guy, Jacoby Myers is a dog, and any team would be happy as hell lucky to have that guy. And I hope the Raiders are smart enough, which I don't see him going anywhere unless AP goes somewhere. Then he might, but as long as Antonio Pierce is there, Jacoby Myers is going to be our number one. Now, they might draft some guys, that could flash, and he'll probably still be our number one, but might play more in the slot. It just depends. But yeah, Jacoby is definitely our number one receiver. So who? Oh shit. What did y'all think about, or did anybody watch? One for yes, two for no. Did anybody watch the Heisman Trophy Award? Who did you have as Heisman winner? And do you think Travis Hunter deserved it? Three questions. Me, myself. I think what Travis Hunter did this year is special as hell, man. You can't deny, you cannot deny what he did on offense. Almost 1,100 yards. I think 10 touchdowns, 3 interceptions on defense. Playing the snaps that he played, Maxx Crosby type guy. Not quite as many snaps as Maxx Crosby, but just as many snaps as that guy plays on the field is crazy. But when you go look at the numbers Ashton Genty put up, when you have one man that outrushes 119 other fucking NFL or college football teams, 119. This man outrushed by himself 119 different college teams. And these college teams, it's college. They have 4, 5, 6, 7 backs, some of them like that they play. Some guys have, some teams have 3, 4 guys that play pretty much every game. And if you got 4 guys or even 3 guys or 2 running backs and your quarterback rushing and you got outrushed by one man who plays for a small school like Boise State, is just crazy. The numbers of yards after contact is more than, I don't know how many teams, but it's like 50 something teams in college football. His yards after contact are more than any other college football running back this year achieved, except for one. So, bro, when you look at Ashton Genty's numbers, how could you not make that man Heisman Trophy winner? Like, it's just insane to me. Insane to me. So that was my pick. I thought Ashton Genty won it by a mile, 29 touchdowns. Colorado didn't even make the college playoffs. This man basically put his whole entire team, and I'm not saying his team is not good because obviously his offensive line is very good. But really, when you have almost 800 yards after contact, like it's not all your offensive line. Let's be honest. So Ashton Genty to accomplish what he did and carry his team like he did, in my opinion, 100% should have had the Heisman. I mean, it's no question at all. And then even Dylan Gabriel, you got your team undefeated. I just thought it should have been closer. I thought it should have been closer. And if they went by fan awards, the fans voted Ashton Genty by a lot, I think. So it was basically college football and all the coaches and shit, which I don't know. Somebody might have had an influence on that. Somebody might not have. I'm just saying Ashton Genty's numbers do not lie, man. That dude is a freak of nature. And if you are the Raiders and you are not convinced that any of these guys are worth picking in the top 5, trade back, trade back, grab Ashton Genty to whatever spot you think you need to trade back to, or whoever wants to give you whatever for that number 1 pick. Trade back, grab the running back of the future for many, many years to come. You did it with Josh Jacobs. This man has the potential to just blow Josh Jacobs out of the water, and not as big, but has potential to be that Saquon Barkley, 150, 200 yards a game average. Now, you could say he's not going to get those yards in college. I disagree. The way the man bounces off of guys, his yards after contact, I'd be very, very, very surprised, if he slips down to somewhere, 10 to 15 and goes to a decent team, that this man is not rookie of the year next year. Like, if he goes to a team and starts right away that has a solid line and, he's not drafted till later in the first round, this man is going to shock the NFL, dude. Ashton Genty is a freak. Did you look at the man's legs sitting on the chair? The man's legs were like 2 people's bodies for a running back. Oh my God, dude. How do you tackle that guy? You can't bring him down. Like, it's just absolutely insane. So yeah, there's that. What else we got? What do y'all got? Interact. Who you taking? All right, play GM for me. Devil's advocate. Your GM. Somebody calls up and says, I'm going to give you 3 first rounds to move back to, say, 8th. Do you take it? Or farther? Because, there's going to be a lot of teams, like I said, like the Saints, like maybe even the Panthers if they pull some more games out, that might want to move up to that number 1 spot to take a guy like Abdullah Carter from Penn State. Oh my goodness, another guy that is just crazy. He's going to be a Micah Parsons type dude. I could almost guarantee if he puts on some weight, like, this man is going to be a complete game changer in the NFL. And if he doesn't go top 5, that's wild, bro. Just wild. I'm telling you, wild. Raiders have made some crazy, crazy decisions going with Tyree, 7th pick in the first round. Could you drop back and get an Abdullah Carter from Penn State? I mean, you don't know what you're doing. I mean, we got a lot of defensive ends, but still, best player available, right? Best player available. If that's the best player available, you can get a lot of money from a Malcolm Kuntz. I mean, at this point, if Caleb Von Chasen has another couple bust out games, shit, you might be able to push him off somewhere. I mean, I don't know, but with 10 picks, 2 third-round picks, you have to be able to make moves. And I think some of those picks and some of these guys on this team, that are still under contract for 2 or 3 years, I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to name names because that's just jacked up. But a couple of those guys, I think, do not fit, just do not fit this team, do not fit the violent, ill intent, physicality style. They're just not it. And I think some of these young guys, man, when they get in, they shine, and I think they need to stay in. That's what I want to see the rest of the season. I hate for Maxx Crosby to be out, especially, man, if he's out the rest of the year, which I don't know why he wouldn't be, because it's just dumb to put him back in, like I said. But damn, we get to see some young guys. Will Amari Gaynor be in there? Because if Snowden's not playing, we did see Amari Gaynor play a little bit of linebacker, but we did see him play some defensive end, I believe, when Maxx Crosby was out. And even when Maxx Crosby was in there, I think I think it was the Baltimore Ravens game, which I haven't seen him in there, so I can't even remember. Maybe the Cleveland Browns game, but one of those early games, they put Amari Gaynor in there. He had a couple flashes, was getting pressure to the quarterback, was chasing guys all the way around from one side to the other. Was only in there on a couple plays, but I would love to see that kid get some reps at linebacker. But if you can't get reps at linebacker, he did play defensive end at Florida State. So Amari Gaynor, man, I don't know why this man's not on the field more. He needs to be on the field way more. Like I said, though, we did win with Maxx Crosby out. It looked like, the team played harder, in my opinion. And for some reason, it messed up, team's game plan of constantly running directly at Maxx Crosby, because they know he's blitzing. They know he likes to, overrun the plays. They know they're going to double team him and chip him. So I think it's going to be a lot harder for the defense, not knowing what's going to, who's going to be on that end, what's going on. Like I said, the 9-6 boy has just been huge, just a huge pickup for us. And again, I don't know if it was Tom Telesco, but if it is, you have to look at Tom Telesco's body of work. Now, I know I said in the free agency, I wasn't really impressed, but that was the off season. The free agency in the season, Tom Telesco has been very, very impressive. He's brought in a lot of guys that have stepped up and played and helped his team. And most of them, we definitely need, bro. Like, oh my God. All right, I'm trying to see what other defense. Oh, defensive end, yeah. So we only got Charles Snowden, Caleb Von Chasen, Janarius Robinson. Is he even still on the team? I have not seen Janarius Robinson hardly at all. But I haven't seen him released. So, Maxx Crosby, Tyree. Yeah, so that's it. We got 4 defensive ends: Tyree Wilson on Max's side, and then Snowden, Caleb, and Janarius Robinson. So, man, it's going to be rough on the edges. I would love to see Amari Gaynor get some burn in there. Trey Taylor is another guy, and I know he's got to be ready, man. It's been the whole entire season. This guy was, one of the top prospects. Everybody wanted to see. Everybody was, talking about this kid coming out of Air Force. And then he gets hurt. He goes on IR. And then what? It's been 4 weeks now. He's been back, I do believe, going on the 5th week. So, yeah, man, 5 weeks is definitely enough time. And I know AP said, some bullshit about, the safeties are playing well. But, yeah, they're also out there a lot. And no matter how well you're playing, like you still need breaks. Like you still got to take time off, especially when on a 70-yard drive and these guys are just sucking air out there constantly. You got to have guys to give them a breather. And I think Trey Taylor, we got to see what this kid has. There's too many rookies on this team that if AP's not here next year, I think they failed, by by not putting these guys in. Like it's just wild. Chiefs. Queerdom. Chiefs queerdom. What's good? Red finger number 1. Mine's not red, but come on, man. What you doing in the Raiders chat? Queefs boy. You seeing how the real people live? I can't even talk shit. We suck. What's good, man? Appreciate you pulling up. Welcome. We welcome everybody. What do you think? I know you're trolling. What do you think about the Raiders Falcons matchup? Who you think's gonna win? Who y'all play this week? Who do the Queefs play this week? I believe the Broncos. Did the Broncos in the Broncos? The Broncos in the Lightning Bugs play this week also. That's gonna be another division game that is hard to watch. You play the Browns? Oh, y'all gonna lose to the Browns. Atlanta wins by how much? Come on, man. Yeah, our defense, I don't know. They score a lot of points. But our defense does good against teams that score a lot of points. With no Maxx Crosby, it's going to be very, very rough. But we do have the Chiefs 20. What? Damn. Atlanta wins by 20? Bro, you're rough, bro. You just hating now. You definitely trolling. So, yeah, I see you guys losing. I see you losing to the Browns. Jameis Winston has Jesus on his side, God on his back, which they're not helping him not throw interceptions. I don't know why. Maybe he needs a little bit more Jesus on his side. Maybe he needs to pray more. But his comments are absolutely fucking hilarious. And his statements and, somebody please, Lord, jump outside shit at the in the huddle. Jameis Winston is funny as hell, bro. Like, and a good ass quarterback. If he could just stop throwing interceptions, which I don't know if that's going to happen. But man, if that man cannot turn the ball over, y'all are in trouble because your defense is garbage when it comes to stopping the pass. How do I know? Aiden O'Connell threw 340 yards, 2 touchdowns against y'all. Y'all almost got beat by Aiden O'Connell twice. What, man, I'm on a live. Why don't you look at your phone? Bye. Okay, sorry. Jesus. No, y'all win by 20. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't think we ain't beating nobody by 20 points. Now I know you're trolling, bro. Now I know you're trolling, dog. Yeah, come on. Like the only way that happens, there's no way that happens. There's no way. There's no way. Yeah. Just fuck with you. Y'all can't win by 20, bro. You ain't beating the Browns by 20 points. The Browns have a solid ass defense. They have they have Garrett Wilson, who is just gonna ruin Patrick Mahomes. He's gonna be all over that man. I'm telling you, don't sleep on the Cleveland Browns. They just can't get out of their own way between penalties. I mean, that look, they should have beat us by a long shot. The Browns whooped our ass in every aspect of that game, and then the Browns had a touchdown called back, had another touchdown, an easy touchdown that was dropped. Uh, just must they beat themselves. So they beat themselves in every game, and they've been in every game. They're kind of like the Raiders. They're exactly like the Raiders, as a matter of fact. They have struggling quarterback play. They have a solid defense that comes to play whenever they feel like it, and and an offense that they don't get much out of their running backs. They have a different top receiver every single game, and they just can't seem to get out of their way. They can't seem to stop getting penalties on third downs. They can't get off the field on third down, and yeah, yeah. The Browns, I'm telling you, watch out for the Browns, dude. You're sleeping on them. I'm telling you, the Browns have been there. They should have beat the Steelers. They said they should have dog walked us. It shouldn't even been close. Um, what other games? A lot of games. The Browns have been in a lot of games. Jameis Winston just got to learn to make better decisions. Now that's easier said than done in the NFL, especially when you've been in the NFL for a while. But that's another guy that some teams are going to take a look at if the Browns don't decide to be like, man, let's just roll with this man. He's experienced, he's been there, done that, and I don't know how much training you can do, but people need to look at the Washington Commanders because there was a lot of things about Jaden Daniels' game that a lot of people said would not convert well to the NFL. And I keep bringing this up, and nobody else is talking about this, and no other teams are talking about this that I hear about. But every morning he comes in before everybody else, puts his virtual reality headset on, and plays a game of Madden or of Madden with his virtual reality headset on. So he said that has helped his game tremendously. Read defenses, see the field, and maybe more teams should do that. Maybe they should do that with Jameis Winston. Maybe help him make better decisions and see guys that that obviously he can't see on the field. I don't know. Y'all draft a kicker in the first round. Come on, man. That's not even funny, dude. If they draft a kicker in the first round, I'm coming looking for you, bro. I'm gonna hunt down. No, I'm just saying, fucking. I don't have to go far, Kansas City fan. I'm right over the border, about 2 hours away. I'm just saying, if they draft a kicker, I know your IP address. I know your IP address. Fucker. Damn, I'm gonna jinx us like that, bro. That's messed up. They've been known to do that. They've done it before. Oh, you're in Kansas? Well, then you're farther than me. Then I'm not going to Kansas, so don't worry about it. But if you get something in the mail, no, I'm just fucking with you. What else we got? What else we got to talk about? Nate Hobbs. Nate Hobbs is back. He is still questionable, which I don't know if that means he's going to play or not, but hopefully Nate Hobbs can return. If my boy, hopefully, that's just what my IP address says. See, I'm smarter than you, my guy. But yeah, hopefully, they don't rush Nate Hobbs. He's been practicing. I think he practiced a little bit last week, a little bit this week, and hopefully they don't rush it. That we got we got nothing to play for except for that number one spot. And again, I don't even know if that's worth playing for at this point. There's so many things. Like, I don't know. I don't see it with these quarterbacks. Now last year, I was that dude that was saying, watch out for Bo Nix. Watch out for JJ McCarthy. Watch out for Drake May. And everybody was like, these guys are sorry. They'll never be NFL quarterbacks. I know what I'm talking about. I've done this for 100 years. Yeah. Well, all those guys have very, very, very long careers staying healthy if they stay healthy. So, look, I watched football for a long time. I've been involved in football for a long ass time. And I'm not saying I know everything, but I'm pretty good judge at character. And I don't know. I just something about both of these quarterbacks that high, especially when you see, other analysts and announcers and all kinds of people saying the same damn thing, that if it wasn't for needy teams, would these guys even be in the top 10? That is a question you have to ask yourself. Now, I don't know if you have access to go watch film or not, but go back, put on the tape, pop in YouTube, look at the highlights, but watch a full game. Don't just look at the highlights, because the highlights, of course, are the best plays out there. Go look at the mistakes, man. Look at the interceptions. Look at the sacks. Oh, so many sacks. Oh, so many sacks. Yeah. So all that comes into play. I'm just saying. And when you have a history like the Las Vegas Raiders at drafting quarterbacks, which is not a very huge history, because if you look at the Raiders' history of drafting quarterbacks, just saying, just saying, not very good. Now you got Tom Brady in the building. How much say he will have? It's not going to be a lot from what people say. Even Mark Davis has said, he's not going to get in the way of Fox. So they have the Super Bowl to do. After the Super Bowl, they start the combine shit. It's going to be rough. Basically, he's just going to be in the ear. So I'm glad my IP says I'm in Illinois. At least I know my shit is working. But with that, hour and 12 minutes, man. I guess everybody's asleep today. Nobody wants to pull up, talk Raiders. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to get off here, get some grub. As always, much love. I might be back on if I get bored, but I appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe, follow, and as always, Raiders. Peace. Yeah.